Every musical tradition on Earth eventually discovers the exact same consonant chords. This happens regardless of culture or geography, because harmony is entirely structural. When notes sound pleasing together, our ears are actually detecting pure mathematical frequency ratios. This chart shows the overlapping wave frequencies of those universal sounds. The octave is 2-to-1, the fifth is 3-to-2, the fourth is 4-to-3, and the major third is 5-to-4. Take the denominators of those perfectly consonant ratios, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The minimal mathematical grid that holds all those intervals simultaneously is their least common multiple, 120. The human ear operates as a biological phase detector. We experience musical beauty when sound waves align to this invisible 120-point framework. We see a similar constraint in the optimal growth patterns of biology. Leaves on a stem or the spiral of a nautilus shell are governed by Fibonacci and the golden ratio. This dictates how organic matter scales with maximum efficiency. This shows the first 5 Fibonacci numbers, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, scaling outward. Just like the acoustic ratios, their least common multiple hits the exact same mathematical ceiling, 120. 2,400 years ago, Greek mathematicians mapped out the Platonic solids. Euclid proved there are only 5 regular shapes that can close in 3 dimensions. The largest maximal form the universe permits is the icosahedron. An icosahedron has exactly 60 rotational symmetries. Map that geometry onto a sphere, including its binary cover, and the symmetry doubles to 120. Acoustic consonance, natural plant growth, pure 3-dimensional geometry. 3 entirely independent disciplines. Harmony, biology, and geometry operate in isolation, yet all arrive at the identical numerical limit of reality's framework. To find that framework, we have to stop looking at objects inside flat space and look at the mathematical shape of the space itself. Topology gives us the 3-sphere, mathematically known as S-cubed. This is the simplest closed 3-dimensional space with no boundary. It is a universe that wraps back onto itself. In 2003, Perelman proved the Poincaré conjecture, confirming that S-cubed is the unique, simply connected 3-manifold. If you require a finite universe with no edges, S-cubed is the only mathematically viable shape. But S-cubed is not an empty, featureless vacuum. It carries a rigid, native geometric structure, which happens to be perfectly identical to the mathematical group that governs quantum spin. Space and quantum symmetry are the exact same object. Because of that native symmetry, this continuous space naturally partitions itself. It divides the entire volume of the 3-sphere into exactly 120 identical interlocking domains. 120 is not a human invention. It is the absolute, unchangeable architectural capacity of reality itself. The room has exactly this much furniture, and no more. If you break this number down mathematically, 120 is constructed entirely from the prime numbers 2, 3, and 5. These act as the atoms of symmetry. The prime number 2 provides the universe with duality, the binary distinction of up and down, on and off, the discrete nature of quantum spin. The prime number 3 dictates the triangular faces of geometry, providing rigid structural stability, and the prime number 5 injects 5-fold symmetry, yielding the golden ratio and establishing the framework required for complex organic growth. Because 2, 3, and 5 are the exclusive divisors of the 120 domain space, every piece of matter and energy built inside our universe inherits their structural DNA. Now, look at a Mobius strip. It is the simplest possible surface with a boundary, a single continuous plane with only one edge. Embed the strip into the 3-sphere, and its boundary inherits the geometry. A wave traveling its edge acts as a topological clock. Because the room is partitioned, this clock cannot flow continuously. It advances in discrete intervals, taking exactly 120 steps per cycle. Time is not bolted onto the outside of the universe. It operates on the exact same 120-step native grid as the geometry itself. We exist inside a mathematically rigid 120-fold room, and the constraints of that room dictate everything that forms inside it. In biology, infectious viral capsids pack themselves into icosahedrons simply because it is the most efficient way to close a shell in this specific geometry. In chemistry, Fundamental carbon structures like Buckminster fullerene naturally lock into this identical symmetry, built from the exact same mathematics. Consonant musical chords and visually appealing natural spirals exist solely because they are physical manifestations, shadows cast by the native geometry of the three-sphere. When we hear perfect harmony, or look at the proportions of the natural world and find them beautiful, our senses are simply doing their job. They are detecting the true native geometry of reality itself.